Hello, Collective. Wendy Joy, Love and Light. I wanted to remind you that you should always keep self forgiveness in the center of whatever it is that you get involved with. Whether you do it willingly or you walk into a situation or is presented some type of energy or situation, circumstance, mindset, it doesn't matter because it could go onwards as far as why you should hold self forgiveness. But you really should, and it's not for the party. It's not for the dilemma. It's more for you than it is anything else. And you don't actually have to be surrounded by the hurt or the anguish or whatever feeling brought you into some type of an inward, downward absorption manner, meaning that you may be allowing how another perceives, right, or projects to influence you or your decisions or what you even, blah, or how you even may think of yourself at that particular moment. Because not all the time, not every day, you know, do we find, our way a graceful, poiseful event, right? Because unfortunately, sometimes things pop up and they kind of are even maybe meant to trip us up, but we play into it. And until we learn how not to play into that situation by holding um, strong boundaries and, relying on your intuition, fully understanding that the position that you're playing is a position of strength and stability, right? With clarity and wisdom and knowledge leading your way, right? You may fall prey into a situation that, you may not have necessarily saw yourself walking into or allowing the flow of energy to affect you or your field, right? And you could maybe even feel some sort of way, like you let yourself down, or you allowed a slip in your path and you slid backwards. Well, no, actually, you didn't allow a slip in your step and you didn't slide backwards. What you did was rely on your discernment. You caught yourself in a situation. How doesn't matter how far down the road you are in it, but you caught yourself, and I'd like to hope that you stopped. And at this point now you're reflecting and you're realizing what position that you played, whether subconsciously or unconsciously, because we all play a part, because we're all an active role in either our own play or someone else's play, right? We're either meant to learn, to grow, or we're meant to teach and to guide, right? And at certain points of our life, we're meant to do both, right? Sometimes you can see that easily if you want to consider parent and child, and even child to parent, because at some point, the child should have enough structure and stability to step up and surpass their parent, because I don't know about you, but that was my goal all along, that my kids would outreach me with their depth and their gravity, right? Like soaring to heights, well beyond mine. That I laid the foundation showing them that they had the ability and they really did know how, right? Same for you, same for everybody. Our inner knowing, our discernment helps us lead that way. But if we get caught up along the way, we really do need to forgive ourselves for the position that we played, because we were being taught or we needed to teach. And when you look at it as a stature of prestige, then that automatically puts it in a different vibrational level, because now you're not considering yourself a bottom feeder. You're considering yourself, upward on the tier, where you have the ability to utilize the tools that you've gained. And the biggest tool that you need to embrace is the self-forgiveness tool, because it really does lift you higher, and it will make your ascension lighter, if you will, by freeing up the burden of the tug that, you're trying to suppress. Because everything always has a way of popping out, and usually it comes at all the wrong times, like making you embarrassed or watching you fall, whether it be physically or metaphorically. It doesn't really matter at all. But the point is how are you perceiving your inner self-care? Are you honoring, all the feelings that may be coming your way, or even may be coming from you? Are you addressing them and accepting the value, right? Through understanding, clarity, right? And then giving to the universe the bulk or the burden and retaining the value? Because that's what self-forgiveness is the next step of. Because once you've done all those things, there's no room to hold on to. There's no place. It'll fall through your fingers, because you took the life of it away. So now all you need to do is forgive yourself for even being that way, but then thanking the situation for the knowledge and the wisdom that you gained. And it kind of works hand in hand. And sometimes it may feel like a roller coaster of up and downs and sideways moves, because, our energy does flow, and we cannot control the manner in which the air blows. We, however, can control, or at least add to, the velocity in which we have our energy flow. So when you're thinking about that, think light and positive, so that your energy carries you, soars higher and higher, and you don't feel like your energy is being drained or dense like quicksand, or like a chain and a mountain. Like you can't lift a mountain, right? At least not with your hands anyway. And it may feel like it's crushing, right? So don't allow something so dense and so low and so crushing to infiltrate anything. And forgive yourself. That's the next step. Let it all go, right? And enjoy whatever may come your way, because now you've retained the clarity, the wisdom, and the understanding, along with the compassion and the empathy, rather, to see yourself in another and recognize their pain through the pain that you once had, and then offer the right tool to them. And if you didn't forgive yourself, you may not have had the ability to reach back into your own pocket. Do you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Sometimes it's a little confusing, but if you break it down right at the core, if you go in the direction in which feels right, which resonates, which gives you the most might in a positive, upward, forward motion, you'll always be on the right path. And while you're applying your effort, the universe will match your road and open up a timeline that meets your goals. So keep in mind that forgiveness isn't more for another, but it's really mainly for self, so that we can really love the skin that we're in, the temple that we're keeping, the direction in which we're going, the love that we're sharing. By walking and talking, honoring, right? Like accountability, if you will. I always do what I say and I say what I do. And I will always, always tell on myself. Do you do that? Like if I caught myself doing something that's off-centered or maybe not so right before someone else, because someone else is always watching, thinks that they have something that they can hold and, grab me tight, I'll go and I'll say, listen, you know what, man, I made a boo-boo. So before you hear it from another trying to squash it into this big, huge explosion, right? Like press it down and then pop it out. I'm going to tell you, I screwed up, but I'll fix that. And usually people look at me and they don't know how to take it. And then they come and they say to me, oh yeah, you know what? It was funny because somewhere down the line, someone said that they thought they saw that you, and I'm like, see, told you. So keep in mind that everything happens for a reason. And there's always a good reason to step in, to live life, to be accountable, to forgive ourselves, right? And to continue forward on our journey. I love you. I really do. Blessed be.